Have you heard of gossip before? Gossip. Gossip is one of the most fundamental ways of the practice of witchcraft. Because through gossip, you can influence someone's perception of another person that you have never met. The person had never met you before, but someone gossiped you behind the scene, and the person is armed with the orientation of that gossip and relates with you from that standpoint. What I want you to know is this: witchcraft is a reality that is present, is ever present, seeking to diminish the possibilities you have to align with the fullness of what God has for you. I went for a conference. I was invited as a speaker, and I met great preachers. So I saw that there was a great prophet on the list of ministers. There was a mighty evangelist on the list of ministers. So because of that, I had to go into my most original grace, which is to teach. So that day, I was not going to prophesy because the prophet was there. So I finished teaching, and the prophet began to prophesy over me. And that, I don't know how it happened, that video, the clip of the prophecy, went worldwide. The next thing I heard was that a minister traveled, paid for his ticket to that prophet to tell him that, are you not aware that this man you are prophesying on is fighting you? You get a visa. You know how it is to get a visa from Nigeria. Then you pay for your ticket in Naira to travel over to a place to, according to King James, to make someone's mind evil affected. Meanwhile, the day I met that prophet was the first time in my life I ever saw him. Calls began to go from pillar to post. People started calling me and saying, this is what the prophet said. I said, well, I just met the prophet for the first time. And I don't know what the people told him, but I hope they have evidence for what they have said. And just in case they don't have evidence for what they have said, it's not something I can bother about. And believers too are culpable on the issue of witchcraft. Because in the house of God, one of the ways we know that a house is a house that God can identify with and use to fight his wars in a territory, one of the things that determines our corporate ranking before God is how pure our fellowship is. Because God sees us when we come to worship. He also sees us when I go behind my brother to gossip him to another person. He also sees that. So whenever we come to worship, he cannot trust our worship. Because in our midst, there are factors, there are activities that happen behind the scene in order to undermine the integrity of other people that come before God. So if you ever see God fight with a congregation, he wants to fight in a territory and he uses a congregation, it means that their corporate rank has appreciated. It means the congregation has matured, and that what they say on the pulpit is what you have behind the scene.